Men, they just keep working. And guess what? When they're tired and they're overthinking and all that shit, they work more. And then they work till they fully pass the fuck out. There's no time for overthinking. There's doing. You're having anxiety attacks and panic attacks because you don't do. You think about doing. And it fucking terrorizes you that you're so inefficient with your time. 99.9% of you guys have just performed this mental masturbation where you think, I just gotta think positive. It's all about belief. And you just do all this internal shit and zero of the real work that works. So an idiot who doesn't pay any attention to any of that shit, who I could just give a blueprint to, will fuck you off and outwork you. Because you think you need to understand everything so crazy before you ever fucking put any energy to it. That is not what you need to do. You need to get a blueprint from a top motherfucker, shut the fuck up, quit thinking so much, and just do what he tells you. Only way you motherfuckers are ever gonna make it is if you put every fucking ounce of energy, every second of time you got, and every dollar you have towards your dream until it starts to fucking get cooking, and then you're really killing it. And then you continually throw more and more and more into your goal and your dream because you know there's no other way back. There's no fucking plan B in this life. You're like, I'm going to be this. It doesn't matter. It's all or nothing. This is what I'm going to be. This is what I'm going to do. You guys play it safe. You'll never get anywhere. Do you guys really take in consideration the pain when you're after something you want? Because if I want something, I never consider any of the downsides. I'm just like, oh, it's going to look dope. And I never consider if it's going to be painful or not. This is why you guys suck. No matter what you're trying to do in your life, you're considering the work, you're considering the pain, you're considering the downsides on the way to getting it done. Fuck. Once you get to a certain level of life, the amount of stress that will come your way would cripple a bitch-ass motherfucker. So the fact is are you even ready? You guys probably stress out over the smallest bills or the smallest missteps or the littlest argument in your relationships. This little ass shit probably derails the fuck out of you to where you can't even stick to the fucking goals that are aligning you with your best life. The thing I can teach everybody best is when no matter what the fuck happens, I will always still stick to what builds me. And that's the answer. When you hit rock bottom, when shit's fucking going wrong in your life, when life comes knocking at the door, who the fuck are you? Do you stick to building you or do you break? Doing what's difficult changes you for the better. So don't ever listen to people who talk shit about any result. The result is what you chose to do with it. So if you were way ripped and you chose just to be a playboy, then yeah, whatever. If you were way rich and you chose to just buy shit you like, then whatever. The goal, though, is to ask people the right question. So the right question when you're asking someone who's successful at anything is, how did it change you? And I mean, going after money when I grew up poor changed my mindset forever. Because now I know it's possible. You guys who've never had a large amount of spending cash don't believe it's possible. So you're fucked until you finally break that threshold. That's the same thing with getting a six-pack or getting ripped. You're fucked until you break that threshold. You have to actually borrow that mindset from someone who has it. You have to shut up, never listen to yourself, and just borrow the belief and ability from someone who's already made it. You guys are operating from ego. You guys are afraid to make certain choices in life because you're afraid how it's going to look if you fail. I don't care. I've already failed. I went to prison forever. That was the biggest failure a man could ever even take. The biggest L ever. And I came back from that. I mean, I don't think anybody's above me, so you guys value everyone's opinion too much. You can't even get on camera and talk because you create people on the other side of the camera that don't like you. I'm so in favor of myself that I fear nobody or no outcome, nothing. Very few men have been through as much as me and done as much as me. Only real men that are accountable like me. Because I'll say, if you're broke, you're a loser. When I was broke, I was a loser. So a real man who's accountable will be like, that is true. I'm going to choose not to be broke and be a loser. So then he'll make that choice and be accountable and he'll change his life. because he'll no longer give himself an excuse. These other pussies, they'll just be like, fuck that guy. And they'll just find a way to they'll spend all their energy trying to fucking find a way to take away my name or disagree with me in a million different ways instead of just making money. Because if they just made a bunch of money, they wouldn't even care that I'm saying losers are broke, because then they wouldn't be a broke loser who the shoe fit. Financial success can come pretty quick, but building a physique that's your fucking resume. Like, your resume to the world is who you are, the way you speak, your conduct, your character, your physique, your appearance. All this matters. You guys need to quit listening to people who say it doesn't matter, because you're telling me a lot about yourself, how the fuck you pull up, like how much you respect yourself. We all know you don't want to be out of shape, so that if you are, then you don't respect yourself. You don't hold your word to yourself. And if you don't hold your word to yourself, you can't hold your word to anybody else. It all starts within. You guys got to understand this shit and stop listening to lames who say it's not important, because the mindset you acquire in 17 years of training every day, like it took me to look like in that pic, the 17 years of relentlessness towards a goal that is not given, is what changes your mindset. Best way to stay disciplined. You gotta be a man of your word. You fucking lames sit here and tell your wife, your kids, your friends, everybody online that you're gonna do something, and you don't do it because you don't give a fuck about your word. Your word ain't shit. I mean, the second I said I was gonna do something, I just did it, and that was the precursor that made me successful. I'm like, yeah, I'm never gonna miss on none of this shit. So I didn't miss. Now I'm here. I mean, you guys call it discipline. What about just holding your fucking word? If you kept it very fucking simple, and you just removed everything that you know is not aligned with the outcome you want, and you did more of what you know is aligned with the outcome you want, what would happen is you would create an individual that's better than all the individuals around you. And then any path you chose to pursue, you would look around at your competition and laugh. And then the number one spot would be yours. The number one spot pays better and gives a better lifestyle all around. Everything is better for the number one motherfucker. Sobriety is the main focus. That is the main way you're going to become successful if something's holding you back. If you're someone who drinks, parties, does drugs and shit, you're being held back by your choices. That's why I say everything's a removal process. Getting rid of what's keeping you from being successful is how you become successful. We're all entitled to make mistakes, learn wisdom, and grow. But what about all fucking day? Like, how do you guys not create a progressive system of positive habits by being a deductive thinker? Drinking does not work for me. I gotta remove it. This does not work for me. I gotta remove it. I mean, you guys, how the fuck would you ever say you love and respect yourself if your daily habits are completely disrespectful to self? All you pussies out here aren't even going through a real situation that would build you. You guys actually need more real situations that build you. You don't even really face adversity. You motherfuckers, if you're just not getting your way, you call it adversity. If you don't have the exact relationship you want, your financial situation isn't how you particularly desire it, you think you're facing some shit when you're going through situations like this. This is life, you dumb motherfuckers. That's not adversity. Adversity is when you don't think you're actually gonna make it out of this situation because it's so dire, it may take your fucking life. You may not make it out, motherfucker. And none of you motherfuckers really even been through this shit. So you don't know anything about it. You guys actually need to face shit like that more often, and you don't. That's why everybody's so fucking soft. What they call adversity is actually entitlement. Mindset's everything. Someone just wrote me and said, how long does it take for you to build up to squatting 405? I'm like, all my guys squat 405. And they're like, he's like, how long does it take them to build up to that? We put it on their back and they do it. You guys, everything is about law of exposure. Once exposed, you can't be unexposed. If you're not at the level you want, it's because you're around people who aren't at the level they need to be at to call you up to the level you need to be at. You guys don't want to be forced to be at a certain level, because guess what? the quicker you elevate, the more uncomfortable it is. That's why I cut through all the bullshit and I tell people directly what the fuck needs to get done, and we're not beating around the bush. We want it done quick, because if it doesn't happen fast, you quit.